Hello. Hi. Welcome to today's messages. I hope you are well and refreshed and resting, allowing the recalibration of your DNA and cellular structure as we receive these downloads and activations. Wow. They're intense but necessary. Let it out, let it be free. I don't know what happened with this. Why is that there like that? Shifts and changes are abound. Okay, let's tap in and see what's for us to know, discover, and oh, 1 second. Okay. Did you miss me? For you, it's like I never left. Okay. So, Arcturians, we're tapping in with the Arcturians. And they are letting us know it's important to go with the flow. Surrender and like water, go with the flow. Okay. Contact. The energy of contact allows you to know that all doors to your inner source will open when you surrender and like water, go with the flow. Okay. And I'm being I am seeing, being and seeing the quotes, the concept from Bruce Lee, right? Be water, my friend. Sometimes it is still, sometimes it crashes, sometimes it flows, and the cup doesn't, the water becomes the cup because it fills in the space, but it maintains what it is. It's still water, anyways. It's the whole thing. And that made me think of it. Be water, my friend. Okay. Adaptable. There we go. Adapting to life's currents, ebbs, and flows. And see where it goes. Okay. Let's get a rune to back up. And back up. Support. Let's support this contact with our higher self and the surrender necessary. Beautiful. We've got Soilo and Manas. Okay, this is sun power. And this is community, your effect on the whole. How you affect those around you. Let's just read it. Okay, so justice, honor, sacrifice, loyalty, and victory. Sorry, when I picked up the deck, Tiwa's, the eagle, was on the bottom and I glimpsed it. And then when I opened it opened up on Tiwa's, the eagle. So I just had to kind of like make a mental note because that could be a side quest. Okay. So success, sensuality, wholeness, life force, and victory. Okay. So even with Tiwa's, victory is the word. of the day. Yes. Okay. And manners, humanity, intelligence, awareness, society, and learning. Okay, this curiosity, exploratory curiosity. How does this work? Why is this here? What does this do? Right? There's this exploration, thirst for understanding and knowledge. And that is something we need to do to expand ourselves. This is an earth school to learn lessons on all the levels, but also to be here and experience all of the things. And this is why it's important to have the balance, to have the quick recovery when you lose your balance, right? Because that's part of the dance that is the physical realm, is the light and the shadow and the interplay, right? And so as long as you are mindfully dabbling, utilizing, and being the master of the shadow, it can be fun to play with. It can be fun to interact with and engage with. And, just like as something fun to do, people sign up for a marathon, land marathon, right? Where they gotta swim, they gotta run, they gotta bike, and they gotta climb, and they gotta, I don't know, ski. I don't know. There's like these things. And it's about challenging, it's about pushing ourselves, it's about discovery of the versions of self who can achieve, who can be challenged and overcome, right? And even when we don't, even when we come in second or third, we still take so much from it because of the dedication that we invested, and those muscles, those experiences. That's something that is with you forever, becomes a part of your makeup. Okay. Let's do it. Let's tap on in. Let's see what comes up for us today. What's that one over there? Introspection. The ability to look within, to recognize, to see an emotion, look at it, find a safe space to be in it, pull it out, dissect it, understand, right? This is how we could utilize all of those same things for our internal healing and processes, by approaching it with an exploratory energy, right? What is this? How does this, where did this come from? What does it look like on the inside, right? Yes. Okay. This is the process of turning the wheel in your favor. Whoa, I just got this chill. It's like, I feel like every time you do this and understand the working mechanisms of each thing within, it's like taking off weights, right? You're actually lifting the thing up and looking at it and being like, oh, well, those things are heavy. We don't need those on there anymore. There, refreshed, and put it back in. I don't know what that was, but something lighter after your engagement with it, right? We've talked about on this channel a couple times about how our pain receptors are meant to direct our awareness to those areas in order to heal them through our recognition and attention to them. And this is how you heal all of the things inside of your body as well as outside of your body. When you have a pain, you can ignore it. You can pretend that it's not there. And that pain might just keep getting bigger and not go away. And now it's moved. And because it's trying to get your attention to heal the thing, right? These are the signs and synchronicities that lead us. These are the little things that our body does for us, but also externally, right? Signs and synchronicities that point and suggest and nudge us in directions. And yes, they can lead us along our highest and greatest timeline, but it's also going to bring us to areas that need our attention, right? So a cool little sign synchronicity thing, and this is part of this flow state, is a few readings ago, we had the Queen archetype come out. And on one of the little side notes in the book, it suggested looking up that Shakespeare play Antony and Cleopatra, Act 5, Scene 2, or something like that. And I kind of, when I read it here, I was like, okay, like, who's gonna like look that up? You know, I think in my brain I made a mental note, like maybe if it comes up again, I'll Google it or something, right? But I've been doing like a clean purge, just kind of going through, dusting, rearranging, reassessing, looking at all the things and what am I keeping, what am I getting rid of, what needs to be moved to a different location, right? And that afternoon, I was on my upper shelf that I have a few of these old, I like to collect old books. Well, I did for a while there, but then it's hard to display them. They take up space. Anyways, there's this one book up there, and I'm like, oh yeah, what's this book, right? And I pull it out. Here, I brought it in here. So I pull it out, and I'm like, oh yeah, what's this book? And it's Shakespeare. And I open it up, and it is the complete dramatic and poetic works of William Shakespeare. And yes, it does have, obviously, it would if it's the complete, right? It's got the what's his name and what's her name, Anthony and Cleopatra. So I put a mark in it and kind of started looking over it. But the point is that, you know, this is kind of an example, like I was being led by my intuition to cleanse and to clear. And I feel like that was like a nod to being on the right path, right? When the things line up that don't seem to be related. The other thing is that evening after I had that moment with the book, and I was like, that's crazy. Like I just mentioned Antony and Cleopatra and Shakespeare, and now I'm holding the book in my hand, right? With the thing in there. And while I was having dinner, I was continuing on this movie that I was watching, and one of the characters in the movie mentions Cleopatra, and I'm like, come on. Right? But this is part of the recognition, right? And the leading and the trusting your intuition and the kind of the signs and synchronicities that lead and the signs and synchronicities that confirm that you are on the right path, heading the right direction, doing the right things, whatever, right? And that combination, that's part of your connection, your connectedness with your higher self and the surrendering to what is happening and going with the flow, right? And that flow being linked, effective, spoken, flexible. Okay. So this is what it's like to live in your heart space, to take action from your heart space, right? You're trusting your heart, you're trusting your intuition, you're trusting your inner knowing. Even when you don't know, you're like, oh, I guess I'm doing starting a spring cleaning or whatever, and you roll with it. You don't ask questions. It's what's happening. It's what's meant to happen. You're moving energy around. You are having an opportunity to re-engage with your things, to breathe life into them, to dust them off, to reassess them. Do they bring me joy? Oh yeah, this thing, ooh, right? And okay, well, what's that, right? What's that triggering? What's that making me think of? What's this feeling I'm feeling weird about? Maybe it's time it goes somewhere else, right? Time to give it away now. Okay, so acting on your heart space. Yes. Okay. This learning, self-mastery. Okay, so we've got wounds of the past, defenses, right? And this spiritual garden tending. So it's like, and the self-mastery. So it's like this excavating, the reconsidering things from the past and its direct cause and effect that it has on your spiritual growth. Okay, so like an example, going back to an instant in your past that hurt or was representative of something, and really looking into it and recognizing, aha, I needed to go through that thing and learn these skills and behave this way and respond in this manner and all the things in order for me to pull away, to extract, to get seeds or fertilize my spiritual garden. And I also, I had this little flash of this card. Yes, tending your own spiritual garden, but I feel like it's this manas connection to community as well, like other souls that are out there doing the same thing in various stages of tending to their spiritual garden, right? This is you, and these are all the souls out there, and how we are all linked and tending a communal spiritual garden that is blooming and growing. So I was going to say, blooming and growing. Okay, and all of this, your capacity, your ability to reflect on the past and transmute it, or recognize the inner mechanisms and processes that contribute to your connection and tending to now. Okay, and that is a mastery. Whew, there's that chill again. Why is this chill coming in? Okay. So, yes, the development of your third eye, your ability to see, to recognize, to retain, to assimilate, integrate. Yeah, so, the other day things was coming up, and then I was triggered by the Two of Cups, and I ended up bawling my eyes out. And that wasn't it. I ended up drinking a bottle of wine that night and just going all the way in, being like, let's do this. Bring it. And I recognized that I transmute through creativity when I'm feeling like that. So I ended up baking. I usually, when I'm feeling, I used to call it my sadness pie. I would bake a pie and it would be really delicious, right? But I'm like crying my eyes out while I'm making it. Um, yeah, and I ended up making a sticky date pudding cake and some raisin oatmeal cookies. Okay. And then drank a bottle of wine. So it was very productive. And then the next day, because I was hungover, was forced recoup, right? Hydrating, resting. And so finding ways of not blocking the things from coming out, but finding ways to use it, right? Pull that energy, transform it into something else. For some people, it's cleaning, right? Where you're like, can tell somebody's got something going on with them because there's places spotless. Okay. Okay. So this is how you get to 10 of Cups, okay? Through this process of removing the weights, trusting to turn your wheel, trusting the signs and synchronicities, taking action from your heart space. You're being guided by your heart. Also, look at this soul star here, right? And their similarities. So also that's your connection to your higher, what did it say in here? To your inner source. Okay, you connect, you go into the heart, and then it's like you walk into this little heart elevator, and then you're like, all right, oh, bing, bing. I am now connected to my soul star chakra and my higher self. Okay, so this is nervous system regulation. This is love, peace, joy, harmony, compassion, and prosperity. This is the gorgeousness. What's this? Oh, that card felt really thick. Okay. So what about this? Well, something's moving fast. Okay, we got fast moving energy. It kind of fell on your self mastery in between that. So something to do with your state of mind, the frequency, right? The frequency you emit when you get to this place, right? Where you are standing connected in, right? This is you go into the heart, go up the elevator, and now you've got the bird's eye view, the third's eye view of everything. And you are connected from here, and you are connected from here. You're like the little middle man. And that's where you're taking action from, within that beautiful balance between the physical, the heart, and the soul star chakra, the spirit. Another download I got was the concept of heaven and hell, or earth and sky, or the physical realm and the spiritual realm, right? The heart and the mind is the physical and the spiritual, and that connection. Like, look at those sculptures of all of these ascended masters. They always have one leg tucked in and one leg down. And this one is that inner connection. This one's the connection to the spirit realm, and then the foot down is the connection to the earth, and it's a balance, right? One in, one out, something like that. Okay. Oh, there's some deer butts over there. Okay, what's this one? Death be a lady tonight. Okay, this is what turns the wheel and transforms you. Okay, death is the death of the old being transformed into the new. And so we have this circle of life thing going on here. So that's beautiful. Death and transformation. This is the process of transforming. Is this it's almost like if the version of you, when the version of you dies that is over with, the new version of you has to deal with all the old versions stuff, right? And so you go through all the stuff and you're like, this is no longer relevant to me. This was that old version stuff, right? And oh, this one's still, I could still use that or whatever. So this death and transformation, and your ability to process and move through them quickly, understanding that it's part of this wheel turning integration. Yeah, the letting go of the old versions. This is part of the transformation process, and you do it through your introspection, right? Through your self-examination. Like, this part of me, this version of me is no longer serving, and so I have to put it to death, right? Let it die so that the new version can be its beautiful, gorgeous self, right? Okay, we've got celebrations. Okay, we've got collaboration, celebration, your divine spirit team doing everything they can for you in the spiritual realms. They're setting up instances. This is why it's important to follow those intuitive nudges, follow the signs and synchronicities from your ancestors, because they can see more than you can see, right? And they communicate through your higher self. This is why you need to get to this place, connected to this place, so that you can receive the information. Sometimes they will send you a projection or a vision or just a knowing, right? This is your calm tower that you delegate from. Okay. And this tending to self-care, independence, holding your own, and finding the balance between the doing and the being, right? Depending on the seasons, because you tend your garden, you make it gorgeous, and then you balance that out with, because you're working, right? You're working on your garden, you're tilling, you're sowing, you're reorganizing, you're cleaning and whatever. And then there's the allowing things to grow, and then the maintenance, right? The weeding here and there, but you're also sitting in it, enjoying it, looking at the things, the work that you have done, and seeing the fruits of your labors, right? But there is a season for these things. You're not enjoying the fruits of your labors in the middle of the winter when nothing's growing, right? So that's the time to tend to your inner garden. Ooh, there may be something connected to that. I mean, we are nature. We are a part of nature, and nature goes through their cycles, and so do we. And so the more that we work with nature, with ourselves, the more able we can go with the flow, I think. Okay, the last one is the truth, okay, and destiny. This is your truth. Your, that somehow seems like it's part of my outfit a little bit. There we go. It's like the sword of destiny, right? It's this sword that has magical powers, and it has a destiny linked to it, and it's stuck in a stone. And I see a ginger kitty stalking in the forest. Sword and stone, it still takes one to see it, to recognize it for what it is, and to choose to pull it out and claim it, right? And the level, the frequency, the mindset that one must be in order to retrieve it, right? All those people who tried before Arthur, they wanted it too bad. Their energy, their frequency was not a right match. I think Arthur, well, in the Disney movie, anyways, he didn't think about it. He just saw a sword, and he was trying to please someone else, and so he just grabbed the sword and gave it to the guy, right? So the energy was different, was the point, right? And that's why he was able to pull it. Something about that. Okay, so something about getting your energy right. I think you do that through this process. And also, because it's over here, it's like it's also giving me, so it's on this and this, okay? The fast moving energy and the past pains. So, or the things that you learned in the past, right? And so it's like removing all of the things, or reforging it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Because we're talking about transmutation, right? Like with the energies and then the baking, right? It's like this taking that energy that was one thing and transmuting it and turning it into something else. So taking all of the pains and hurts and wounds of the past, melting down the metal and forging a sort of truth out of it, right? It's kind of like taking all of the wisdom and releasing the rest, right? And then you're left with this sort of truth, right? And it's your destiny. It's powerful, and it's calibrated to you specifically. It's part of this destiny, right? It's like it's meant for you. It's like the Cinderella slipper. It wasn't that she had the weirdest sized feet in the kingdom, and that's why no other woman was able to put their foot in it. It was because it was freaking magical, and it would change shape because it was only meant for one foot, right? Okay. Let's get an archetype. This feels like an archetype reading here. So this is where you're at, stages that you're in. This is the process of going with the flow. I mean, we've got victory and success, right? We've got community. We've got the sun card. So this path, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at in this, you are in an open state of learning and mastery. And this is expansion. Oh, we got one. We got one. The Judge. And it landed at the bottom of this Eight of Wands. Okay, the fast moving energy. So we'll see what this one's about. It is a 14. A 14, you say? The critic, the diplomat, the advocate. Ooh. The Judge has an incredibly important job. They work every waking hour of every day, helping us discern what is safe, true, and just. When this archetype remains unconscious or is captivated by fear, wise discernment turns into painful judgment of self and others. Ironically, the Judge's energy can be the seed of racism, bigotry, and fear mongering. This is the Judge out of balance, building walls, separating from others. When this same discerning force is made conscious and healed, however, the Judge may be found advocating for civil rights causes, standing up for the underdog, providing resources for those in need, and forgiving again and again. Love is the deciding factor. Awakening this archetype is essential for the complex times we are in. Get your Judge in order. The world needs it. Okay, I feel like this is you, the Judge. Okay, the wise, connected, third eye viewing discernment system. And yeah, I mean, even in the King Arthur times, what did Arthur do when he got the sword? He was a just and noble king, right? He created the Knights of the Round Table and put everybody equal because they were all on the same level about serving and protecting and caring and um, uplifting. So it's beautiful. And I feel like this is part of what is helping you here, because this is this is what we're grounding into, is this 10 of Cups, this healed, regulated nervous system, right? This is a self mastery over your emotions, because we've got the central mastery card. And in this state, we're triggerable, right? But here we have taken all those triggers out, removed them, and turned them into something else that we now wield. This is the energy that brings us here, with in balance with this release and self reflection. This is what creates self mastery and discernment. Okay, when light, discernment, advocacy, right action, compassion. When dark, critical, punishing, unforgiving, wall building. Gandhi had an incredibly illuminated inner judge. He was a lawyer. He practiced silence one day a week in order to hone his discernment while on his revolutionary path. The Judge's energy is contagious when we feel judged. Walls go up all around. Similarly, when we feel accepted, the entire world softens. Okay, and I want to say this is about like standing in your authentic self without judgment. You hold and create a space that others feel, see, and acknowledge or recognize, and it makes them feel safe to also be themselves in that space, right? And this is part of your superpower. This is part of that community garden. Yes. Okay, let's get an astrological card here. See what the planets have for us. This one? Discomfort. Okay. A 14. What you talking about, discomfort? Okay. If you put a well-organized silly dweller deep in the wild woods, they'd be accidentally debilitated, out of their element, and pushed to live up to their potential. They may be uncomfortable, but the situation offers a chance to stretch further and develop their soul. The same goes for the planet in a sign or placement that's awkward with its nature. For example, Mercury is the least mercurial when it's in Pisces, opposite the sign Virgo, which it rules. Here, Mercury can bestow a great mind, but in an intuitive, integrated, imaginative way, not a mind to escape in purely intellectual pursuits. Action. This time, you are the invaluable sidekick. This is not your game, but you have a lot to contribute nonetheless, and the long-term benefits will be worth your efforts. Learn and listen rather than assert yourself and your opinions. Use your strength and leadership skills to support and center another person or project. Pass the ball to someone who is in position to run with it. Back up a leader, do the work behind the scenes, and bolster the team. If you're not ready to do this work, you can pass the ball and leave the field, but consider redefining your idea of success. Stay here and you can grow needed skills, expand your repertoire and contacts, and build up trust among others who can help you in the future. Everything you learn, all the contacts you make, prepare you for when it is your turn. Challenge. Whether you're an artist among the engineers or a linebacker among the ballerinas, you may struggle to apply your talents in this situation. In these moments, it's easy to slip into self-pity and self-doubt. Gift. You are being challenged to grow in ways you can't predict. You are being asked to diversify, stretch, and strengthen your weak muscles. Only you can decide if it's time to take that challenge, but this experience also encourages you to love yourself in the quiet moments and to appreciate what you bring to the table, even when nobody else notices. Okay. And, maybe the idea of being such a important node in the process, this idea of community garden, spiritual garden tending, it refocuses you back as one of the players on the team. And there's a time and a place for everybody. And it's not about, we've all been to those games where you see that guy's open, but the other guy's having a breakaway and living his fantasy of, being the best of the best. And so they, instead of passing it to the person that has nobody around them that could score the goal, they instead try to bust through all of the people that are on them, right? And they don't succeed and nobody wins. I don't know. We're just gonna throw that out there and leave it there. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get a crystal card. Another little oracle. oracle assist here, or addition, or confirmation. This one. It's a number 7. Okay, number 7. Winds of change. Cleansing, movement, and change. The winds of change are blowing and are a catalyst for personal growth. Change drives your natural development at the deepest level of your being. Without it, nothing would evolve. The choice to willingly accept new experiences can be challenging. Often, change may bring about feelings of uncertainty that can lead to negative emotions. The opportunity for change always exists. It is your choice whether to continue repeating similar experiences or to create new ones. Welcome change in a relaxed manner and invite it into your life. You will be amazed how quickly manifestations appear as you trust in the universe and allow change to flow. You are connected to the source of universal love and are deeply honored for your journey. Okay? And this brings us right back to here. Contact with our inner source. And like water, surrender and go with the flow, right? Trusting in the process. Okay, is that it? Should we do some charms? Okay. Okay, what do we got here? We've got the dragon. Okay, let the dragon burn away anything that no longer serves, the stuff that you are letting go of, right? The death. Let the dragon burn it away. Those introspective things that are no longer serving, right? This turns your wheel. We've got support and some, oh, here's some going with the flow. Here's some wishes. I forgot we were doing the charms here. Wishes being sent off, discerned. We've got slow and steady wins the race here. What's this one over here? This is the flower and the flower, the peace, peaceful abundance. Okay, I feel like this is connected to your spiritual tending here. Okay, so following the signs and synchronicities, taking action with your heart space. Okay, and this is how you discern what to move on from your heart and what to follow, like what signs to follow. Okay, then we've got your tending of self and spirit. We've got the integration and nugget wisdom collecting transformation. What is it? Transmutation. And the energy that that produces. Okay, turning you into one able to discern and get here. Okay. I want to say this card here. What did it say again? What did it say again? I guess we can just rewind it and go and look again. But yes, there's some good stuff here. Hopefully something made you go and that's good. That's a good thing. Okay, I love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here and the work that you are doing. You are seen. We are all part of this garden. I love this community garden process. It's beautiful. Okay, love, take care of you, and see you next time. Bye for now.